So you can edit videos on an iPad Pro, but there are a couple of catches. Hey everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today we are talking about editing video on an iPad Pro. There are a couple of key things that I did not know that were going to be a problem for editing on an iPad Pro. I thought it was going to be really easy to just transfer my video as soon as I got a dongle. This is actually a USB-C to SD card or micro SD card. It does have both of the little slots there. And so I thought once I plugged in my SD card, I could just import the footage and be on my merry way editing videos. That was not the case. It actually did not show my files. Like when I was doing this, it would show the picture files, but it would not show my movie files at all when I was trying to do this. And so what it wants to do is it wants to import the footage into your photos. They were just not showing up in the photos folder. I had to research this and figure out what the heck is the problem, because I know the files are there, but they were not showing up. So it is actually a little bit complicated to see your video files on an Apple product. On most cameras, the SD card and the camera formats the photos in a way that it's not easy to see them. And so I had to go through a little bit of a process to convert the files. My camera was actually filming AVCHD versus MP4. And so the videos just don't show up. I had to actually convert them through QuickTime. I had to not only convert them through QuickTime, I had to rename them because the iPad only reads names that are 8 characters. So they expected to have 8 characters instead of whatever naming system it already had. And so I converted them, renamed them, and then moved them into the correct file in order for my iPad Pro to see them. And so this was a lot of added steps. It took time in between each of these steps to get the videos converted. So when I'm actually getting them into QuickTime, it takes a little bit of a lag to get them to open. It takes a little bit of a lag to save them, and then I had to rename them, and of course make sure they're saved in the correct folder. And so all of this is adding extra time to the process, whereas with my MacBook Pro, I just plug in the card, it'll automatically show the import window, I can click, they import in just a couple of minutes. It's saving me a couple of extra steps just doing it all on the MacBook. That was a little bit annoying to have to go through that process. Once I finally got them on the SD card, my iPad would read them, and then I had to import them into the iPads. Everything before just sticking the SD card in was added extra time and steps and annoyance. I also didn't have the luxury of just plugging in the SD card into the iPad. I had to still have that extra steps that involved the laptop on the front end of things. Okay, I'm gonna actually show you guys how to do this. If you have the AVCHD files, you're gonna go into your private folder. You usually have 3 folders on your SD card. Double tap on that private folder and then you will see a file. It looks like a QuickTime file, AVCHD. You're going to show package contents on there, and then you're left with something labeled BDMV. You double click that one and it will show you your clips. When I was having trouble doing this, I copied and pasted the BDMV file into a different thing when I was backing up my computer, and so I'm just clicking on it in a different place. But there you will see all of your clips open in QuickTime. You pick out whatever clip you want and hit OK. When you click the OK button, it does take just a second to get the clip to actually open. It's doing some sort of thing with the file in QuickTime, and then you see your movie. You can go up to the top and save it. You're just going to go down to Export To and pick out whatever movie you want. I usually don't do full HD, so I just do 720p. And then you'll name your file with 8 things, either numbers or letters, whatever you want. And then you just save your file, and it will be in the right format for the iPad to be able to read it into the Photos program. And so it just takes a little while. For reference, this video clip was about 5 minutes long, and it said it would export it in about 2 minutes. For the sake of speed, I just went ahead and sped up this footage, but it did take about 2 minutes. And once the video is done, that export progress window will close and you'll just be left with the video clip. You can change the pathway and save the video clip, but it doesn't give you a whole lot of options for where to put it. It doesn't give you the right folder, so I always just save it to my documents file and then go find it. So in my case, I'm going to copy and paste my video. I found the original video in my documents folder, and then I'm going back into my SD card and clicking DCIM and then the one that says 100 whatever. And this is actually the folder that your photos are stored in, and this is the folder that the iPad will read your stuff from to import into Photos. And so you want to make sure your videos are copied and pasted over into this folder. And it's also important that you make sure that the title is 8 numbers or letters. because it reads the files as 8-letter files. And then once it's done copying the videos over to that file, you can eject it from your computer, plug it into your iPad, and then import there and go ahead and edit your video. And so part of the problem was the file version that my camera was saving the files as, the AVCHD. It needs to save it as the MP4. And so I went into my camera settings, changed my camera over to MP4. As MP4 videos, they are titled with 8 characters. And so I didn't have to convert the files on the computer or change the name, but I still had to get on the computer to move the files into the correct folder that has all the photos in it. And so it was still an extra computer step, even though the file was saved as the right file with the right file name. Now, if your camera is already filming in MP4, your video files are going to be in the MP_root folder. So you're just going to click on that folder and then copy and paste them into that 100 folder that's under DCIM. You click it, then you get to the 100 folder, put them in there, and then you're good to go and import them into your iPad. Now, if I'm filming with my iPhone or the iPad, I can totally get rid of all those main steps. They're already saved in my photos folder on my iPad, so that wasn't a big deal. So the front end stuff can definitely be avoided if you film on your iPhone, but if you're trying to film on a bigger camera, you're going to have some little tweaks in the beginning of your process to get the videos actually on the iPad. Editing on the iPad Pro, I'm just using iMovie right now. I know they have a lot of other programs that you can edit movies on. LumaFusion is one that I've looked into that I may upgrade to at some point, but I just find that I'm using my laptop more anyway because of the added extra steps. And so editing the video is not too bad. I'll jump to the overhead camera and show you guys a couple of little annoyances about the iMovie on the iPad. So there's one other feature in the iMovie app that I really just don't like. In order to split a clip or edit it, you click on it and then it bounces up. I really just hate that. When you click on it, it bounces up. So I just could not get the flow of, chopping things really nicely. You have to click on it, chop it, and I always just kind of messed it up. And so I would always click on it, I have to go down here and split. I just really hate the idea that it bounces up like that. I think that's just such a flaw. I found it much harder to use this program versus the laptop desktop version. Another thing, like if I'm trying to clip, it's kind of jumpy sometimes, and I just don't like, I can't be as precise on here as I can be on the computer. Of course, the splitting clips, there's a keyboard shortcut, so if you're using the Bluetooth keyboard with this, it would be a whole lot nicer to be able to just click and use your command keys. But with just using the pencil and trying to figure it out, it wasn't quite what I was hoping it would be. And then when I'm finally done with everything, trying to save the footage, I'm again having to go back to my laptop because you can actually upload the videos directly from the iPad to YouTube, but you lose a key feature, which is the scheduling feature. You can only upload as a public, unlisted, or a private video, and I like to schedule my videos out. I really want that schedule feature so that I can already schedule it for whatever time and day that I'm going to want the video to go live. I was actually saving the videos to the iPad, then putting them on the computer, and then uploading them to YouTube from the computer. And so on the back end, I also have computer needed steps. So it's involving one extra time lag step too. I have to save it on the iPad, then I have to save it on the computer, and then I have to upload it. One of the other things I was doing was I was uploading the videos as private directly to YouTube, and then on my computer, I was downloading them and re-uploading them and scheduling them that way. So it gave me a little bit of a workaround. It still took some time downloading and re-uploading, where if I'm just doing it from the computer, I save it to the computer and then upload. I'm adding a little bit extra time and steps in the back end of things. I'm adding time and steps in the front end of things. And so it was taking me a lot longer to do the workflow using the iPad Pro in the middle because I'm still using the laptop for multiple steps. It's causing me extra time. And so it's just totally way easier to just do it all from my MacBook Pro and skip all the iPad steps. And so I couldn't get away with just doing it completely on my computer if I'm using my nice camera. But all in all, it actually can be done, but it's just a lot of added extra steps. And it's something that's just quicker on the MacBook Pro. So I definitely am not going to be using this for video very often because the other process is just a whole lot easier with the MacBook Pro. But I wanted to come on here and tell you guys and show you guys the workarounds I found. I wanted to put this video up because I've seen so many reviews of people talking about how easy and wonderful it is to edit videos on the iPad Pro. And I'm like, but wait, there's a lot of extra steps and you have to do a lot of workarounds. And it's not a very intuitive thing. It took me a while to figure out what to do. I had to watch other videos of people showing me some of these steps. And so I wanted to put it all in the video and let you guys know that it's not a really quick and easy process. If you're thinking that you're going to get an iPad Pro for video making, you might want to think again. It is a little clunky to have to do it that way. It can be done, but why would you want to? I could see like wanting to edit on the go. I would definitely do the steps before, especially if I was like traveling and I had videos to edit. I would definitely do the beginning steps, get all the videos on my iPad. I can travel and edit the videos at that time, but for most people, I think for the vast majority of you, you're gonna have access to your laptop. So I would be sitting there on my iPad Pro, taking the extra time and steps, still having my laptop right there, and it's just one of those situations where if it's so much easier to do it on the laptop, why bother doing it on the iPad? But for some people, it will be worth the time and the workarounds, but for most of us, it's probably not. So I did end up getting the iPad Pro originally thinking I was gonna edit videos, and that's just not something I'm gonna do on it. So I wanted to give you guys this video as kind of a warning, like, yeah, you can edit videos, but it's kind of awkward. And if you have a nice enough laptop, you don't have to. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.